morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Dum Yinzers. This is episode 198. What's up, man?
What up, homie? I'm living the dream. Monday Night Football, baby.
Yeah, it's big day, big day. Monday Night Football, everyone. I'm excited, Mike. This was always one of my favorite things, even, as a kid growing up, and Monday Night Football. It's always fun because it's football on Monday, but, when it's your team, it's all that much more better.
It is. It's that extra special feeling.
Yeah, for sure, man. And when Mike's done with his breakfast, we'll go ahead and get the show started.
Got stuck in my teeth.
Oh, just let it shine, brother.
Oh,
let
man.
him shine.
I'm still sick. I keep losing my voice. This is just, it's terrible.
Well, I tell you what, you know what? Hold on. Go ahead and talk for a minute. I'm going to kill my fan. I'll be right back on.
All right. Oh, yeah. So it is Monday Night Football night for your Pittsburgh Steelers. Good news is we can't be flexed out of it. That's the best part. You have these two terrible teams, the Indianapolis Colts sitting at 4-6-1. Then you have your Pittsburgh Steelers sitting at 3-7. The depressing news is ESPN showed the playoff brackets, and you have in the wild card and in the hunt. In the hunt was the Colts. Nowhere to be seen was our Pittsburgh Steelers. So hey, we win this one, we might be in the hunt again. Never know. As Ryan just burps in everyone's ears.
Well, that's why I think that, that this season I'm really on this. You can't give up because look at the Ravens. You know what I mean? They just lost yesterday. They lost to Carolina. If we win tonight, we're sitting 3 games out of first place. 3 games. And you know what? With 7 games left, that's still a decent position to be sitting at. Again, I wouldn't rush out and spend your mortgage on Super Bowl tickets, but still sitting here with the Colts, the Falcons, Panthers, Raiders, Browns, and then the Ravens twice. So besides for the 2 Ravens games, all those other games in theory should be winnable. And even if you're a team that's less than average, like we are. I mean, the Falcons are not a good team. The Panthers are not a good team. The Raiders are not a good team.
Panthers just upset the Ravens, so that game is not a gimme.
But you know what? So the Browns upset Tampa Bay. I just think that we don't have left on our schedule Miami. We don't have Philadelphia. We don't have Kansas City. We don't have Buffalo. In other words, so that's what I'm saying. These teams should be teams that we could beat. And if we come out and play good football, and like I said, you take out last game, and you don't even have to take out last game. Take 2 games ago where we won. Last game we lost 37-30 to it. You know what I mean? It could have been a lot worse. I think that we're just going to get a little bit better every week. I think we're going to beat the Colts. I do. I think we're going to beat the Colts tonight. I think we're going to beat the Colts handily, to be honest with you. I think that our defense is going to shut them down, and I think we're going to find a way to score. We're going to win this game tonight. You watch.
I'm still locking in with my 21-10 Colts prediction. I would love to see the Steelers win. I hope when I wake up in the middle of the night to go to work that I see, the Steelers walking off the field in victory. I just don't think it's going to happen. I would love to see it happen, but I just don't see it happening.
One thing before we get started, I just wanted to touch on that's Mike came in on Saturday. And he came to the studio and made Thanksgiving dinner for everybody that's involved here. And I was thinking to myself, now Mike came mid-afternoon, slapped a turkey in the oven, and an hour and a half later, Thanksgiving dinner was ready. Now this was a thing for me because when it happened, I thought, wow, this is really weird because I've been under the impression my whole life, my whole 23 years, that that Thanksgiving dinner was something that took a long time to prepare. Because growing up, I could recall, them putting the turkey in the oven at 4 a.m, and then when everybody's getting there at 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon, that's when it was time to eat. So I just assumed that, because I've never got involved in the cooking. I always got involved in the football part of Thanksgiving. So the cooking, I escaped that. But I was just always under the impression that it would certainly take a lot longer than an hour and a half to make Thanksgiving dinner. And like I said, Mike came in on Saturday, threw together dinner in an hour and a half. And the same amount of time it would took to throw a load of laundry in the machine, take it out, put it in the dryer, and that be done. That's how long it took to make Thanksgiving dinner. And I couldn't believe it. I honestly, I just kept saying that. I was like, I can't believe this is all it takes. to make Thanksgiving dinner and all the time that it takes. It was very delicious. It was my favorite part of the whole thing was that it was ready so fast.
Yeah.
I
It's like I didn't mess
Some
around, you
women,
know.
whenever they make the food, they make it. I think they try to overcomplicate it to make it seem like they're doing a lot more than what they
No,
really
no,
are in
no.
the kitchen. But here's the thing:
No,
why does
no,
it take
no.
9 hours, 10 hours, 11 hours for some people to get this meal
Well,
made?
I cooked a 5-pound chicken breast, bone in, and then like two turkey leg, or yeah, turkey breasts, and then the turkey legs. So those were like 7-8 pounds worth of meat I was cooking. But you figure it's 20 minutes per pound, so okay, that's not bad. I'm only cooking that small little thing right there. But I only made stuffing and mashed potatoes as a side. So I didn't have like cook a bunch of stuff. I didn't have a big turkey to cook.
But I'm
But
gonna
even
be
if I did
honest.
it, even if I did have a big turkey to cook, why would you? Yeah, you it doesn't take that long to cook a turkey. You slap it in. If you have an electric roaster, throw it in there. If you deep fry it, throw it in there. That doesn't take that long anyway to deep fry one. You have a roaster that you put in the oven, put it in there, some water, butter, shit ton of like seasonings that you like, make it taste good, throw it in, and just make sure it's juicy and good and ready to go. It's not a complex thing to cook. It feels daunting, but mostly it's like the sides take so long to cook.
And the thing
That's
was,
the thing right
there's
there.
usually
That's
a
like
hundred
a side.
sides on the
Yeah,
table, and
but there
we
was
had
only
mashed
like what a
potatoes
hand,
and we had stuffing, and that was fine.
because
For
we
these
only had a hand,
people,
just a couple people.
for
So
these
so
people that make macaroni and cheese that have
Mhm.
peas in it, and
Yeah,
all this stuff.
like
It's
what is it with people like the weird dishes that come out on these big holidays? I don't
yeah.
get it.
I don't want the weird I just want my turkey. I just want my mashed potatoes, and I just want my stuffing, and
Hmm.
that's what we had. And it was the perfect happy Thanksgiving. And I had even said to Mike, I was like, this is probably one of the best Thanksgivings that I've ever had as far as preparation and just really just getting it going. And like I said, it just seemed like people they stretch the whole thing out just a little bit for the day and to make it seem like it's so much more than what it is. But it's a dinner. You throw the food together, you eat, and you're done. It's
Well, it all depends on like what you're cooking. So when my mom, she cooked this year at my house, and she thought a bunch of people were coming over, so it was like, okay, let me get. She got like stuff done, a couple things done the day before that we always have. We always have like homemade noodles, homemade rolls. Boom, got those done so they can be heated up, ready to go. But then like stuffing, mashed potatoes. She had the turkey done. Our turkey done was quick too. It was just like mine, but she probably, I think she had like a 15-pound turkey because she thought a lot of people were going to come, but people ended up getting sick. But yeah, even her turkey cooked quick. And she cooked it quick. And then
hey, at
like
least
all
they
of her
got sick
side.
before they ate the turkey, right?
Oh, right? Yeah, yeah. I've never gotten sick from my mother's cooking.
Hmm.
She's a bomb ass cook. But yeah, so like she did it throughout the day because she thought a lot of people were coming, and but man, she banged out the food. I think she started cooking probably around like, let's say like 7. She's probably done by 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's when I ate. I was like, I gotta eat because I gotta go to bed and I gotta go to work. Yeah, she just boom, 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 banged it out, ready to go. Had pies made the day before. She's like, shit, you gotta
I
do
mean,
it smart.
you're sitting in the living room watching TV, waiting for Thanksgiving dinner to be made. It always seems like there's so much going on in there. There's multiple people. There's banging of pots, pans, things falling. You
Well,
know what
they're
I mean?
making stuff by hand and scratch. My all my stuff was instant, man. Put some
But that's
water
what I'm
on and
saying. Why
dump it.
why
Do
the instant
that.
is so
Like I love
convenient?
that. I
Why
love the instant. It tastes
I do
good. It
too.
tastes
Why
fine.
exactly?
I don't know. People like I don't know.
I couldn't
Like
agree more.
a lot of people's cooking is not good. Now, if you're a damn good cook, take all day in there. I don't care. It's going to taste great. But if your stuff tastes nasty, no, get instant and let's go.
Another thing about Mike over the weekend, real quick, I just want to say before I do start, I just want to point out, Mike, I do like these yellow lines on this um on this thing that you're using for
Yeah,
us.
yeah, I know. I
What
know.
it's wild because I was going through some shows yesterday looking for some things, and I noticed a show that had that, and I thought to myself, I'm gonna bring that up. I like the lines.
I've had it here for a while, but like I've never put I forgot I can do the backgrounds. And once I had the
Yeah.
background up, I forgot I could do the overlay. And I totally forgot. And I'm sitting here like, wait a sec, can we spice this up? A little
The reason
pizzazz.
that I say that is because these lines now you see everything nowadays. I got this big conspiracy thing last night because you start watching these reels and TikToks, and before you know it, the whole fucking universe is against you and whatever. But everybody that's like musicians or people that write things like actors, like not for actors, but for like producing movies and things like that. There's all these hidden things now with Easter eggs in movies and the musicians hiding stuff in their music. So that's what we'll keep this to once we're long gone and dead. People will be counting these little lines, trying to figure out what they mean. You know what I mean? And we could say they meant something.
They meant that it was a free. And I just stole it.
And also, where I was going with that was Mike. Now over the weekend, he gives me this good scoop. He comes, he says, "I got this new office chair for my for the show, so you don't always have to look at that 17th century Victorian
this
chair
thing
that
is
I'm
so
always sitting
comfortable,
on.
though, man. I love it. It's so comfortable.
I got this new desk.
Yeah, it's coming.
I got these new lights. They blink. And
They're
I thought,
coming.
oh man, I thought his setup is going to be so lit on Monday. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it. I hop on and I see this again, and I thought, oh yeah, but apparently they're ordered. We're waiting for it.
Ordered. I told you that. I said I ordered them, not that they were all going to be here Monday.
And,
like the light bulb, like the lights aren't supposed to be. They're not scheduled till like 10 o'clock tonight
to get there.
Yeah, like my packages just left from Coriopolis.
Yeah,
Pennsylvania. Right. I live in Ohio. I live that's like what 2 hours away from me.
That's right before Pittsburgh, about an hour from you, probably.
Yeah, like an hour. Okay, an hour away from me. Yeah, but you got to figure all the stops along the way. Yeah, I won't be getting that shit till tonight. My desk isn't scheduled till the 5th or the 9th. My chair the 2nd or the 5th. So it's going to be a while till I get my.
Oh, jeez.
You got to deal with it.
I'm getting used to it, I guess.
Yeah, you know.
It hasn't rubbed me. It hasn't irritated me for a while. Until this morning, whenever I thought everything else was going to be there.
I know. Like,
now it's back to irritating
like once all this
again.
stuff comes, it's going to take a while because I got to tear down the old desk. I got to move the old desk.
You got to build
somewhere. I got to build the new one. I got to build the chair.
Is it one of the
I don't have
nice
time
desks,
for that.
or is it just something little?
It's about 55 inches across.
Okay. Does it go up at all? I mean, is there anything like shelves or?
No, it does have it has a little place where I can set my headphones and a drink holder.
So yeah, that's why you got it, because of the drink holder.
And a built-in mouse pad too. Like I don't have to buy a mouse pad. The mouse pad's built in. It has lights on it and stuff. It's all fancy. It's something like I'm probably like too old to have this and the lights I'm getting, but I don't care. I like it. It's gonna. I'm the only one going to see the desk. It's going to make me feel good.
Yeah.
You look good. You feel good. You play good, man.
I like it.
My chair is awesome. It reclines. So I'll just get it kick back, every time we record. I'll just have my feet up in the air.
I can't wait to see this.
I'll fall over in my chair, eat a couple gummies before I come on.
Mike,
it's funny.
What I wanted to get started with today, we have a news segment today.
Oh God.
Called "Keeping Up with the Claypool." Now, and what I'm going to do, Mike, I'm going to talk a little bit about Chase Claypool, not only his day yesterday, but for just his last 8 games. Okay, so give me a minute. I'll explain.
Oh man.
So yesterday's Chase Claypool finally had a breakout game in his own way in Chicago. They lost, and during this loss, Chase Claypool got 2 catches, Mike, for 51 yards. That's a breakout. I mean, the previous 3 games in Chicago, 1 catch for 4 yards, 1 catch for 8 yards, 2 catch for 11 yards. So 4 catches for 23 yards in the first 3 games. So now what I'm going to do, Mike, I'm going to give the numbers for the last 4 games he played with the Bears and the last 4 games he played with the Steelers. And let's see who wasn't letting him showcase his talents.
Okay.
So I'll start with the Bears, since that's where he's at now. So like I said, 4 games ago, and this is moving forward, the last one being the most recent.
Okay.
1 catch for 4 yards. Think about that for a second. Let that sink in. Second game, 1 catch for 8 yards. Okay, he's a new guy. He doesn't know the playbook. Third game, 2 catches for 11 yards. Now we're rounding out a quarter of the season. Now 4 games, before the 17 game season was a quarter. So we'll stick with that for 2 catches for 51 yards, which is, that's a decent day for, somebody. So the last 4 games, the 4 games that he played with the Bears, he has 6 catches, Mike, for 74 yards.
Hold on, hold on. His first game was actually that 1 for 4 was rushing attempts.
What was his receiving?
2 for 13.
Oh, okay. Let me fix that, please. Don't.
Hey, I don't want to, sell the man short.
Oh, please, yeah, don't sell him short.
That's hey,
So
1 extra
9,
catch,
8,
and then a
3,
couple extra
7.
yards.
Okay, here we go. So 7 catches and 83 yards, Mike. This is what some receivers did yesterday. Some people did better than this yesterday.
Yeah.
So his projected. So say all I do is basically multiply these numbers by 4. So if this was the route that he was going to take throughout his season, he would have 28 catches. Or no, I'm sorry. Yes, 28 catches. And 305 yards. 28 catches, 305 yards, no touchdowns. If you would take his 4 games, multiply it by 4, that's what you would get at the end of the season. Which it's going to get better, obviously, because he will get more involved in the with playing time the more that he learns plays. But on the other hand, you know what? It's football. You played your whole life. Get out there, catch a couple balls. You know how to run a pattern. You know how to do this. So okay, so that, Mike, that was his last 4 games. All 4 games played in Chicago. Now his 4 last games he played in Pittsburgh. Let me start with 4 back, and the last one being the most brief. So the first one was against Cleveland, where he caught nothing. He had 2 targets, and he caught 0. So that's 1 game. The second game, 5. He had 5 catches for 50 yards.
Ooh.
Third game, 7 catches for 96 yards and a touchdown. And finally, 5 catches for 41 yards. So in those 4 games, take away the 0 because it really doesn't matter, because the other 3 games, look at his numbers: 17 catches, 187 yards, and 1 touchdown, opposed to 7 catches and 83 yards, no touchdowns. You could say, again, he's trying to learn the system, the playbook, everything in Chicago, but we didn't have the most ideal passing situation here. So it isn't like you could say, well, they were he was so much more involved in the Steelers offense, which he was, but he wasn't, because like I said, these aren't fantastic numbers considering, but going up against what he's done in Chicago, they are. So Mike has projected, if he would have the season that he had in the 4 games in Pittsburgh, let's multiply that by 4, he would have a projected 68 catches, 748 yards, which isn't great, but it's a pretty solid season for a receiver. So my point being that, I just want to see this guy, if he can actually play football or not. I've had 10 games years ago, a couple years back when he was a rookie, where he actually showed signs, and you would have thought the roof is the limit, the ceiling is the sky's the limit for this guy. But his numbers got dismal in Pittsburgh, and they're even even more anemic in Chicago. I'm beginning to wonder what's this guy's career going to become? Is he going to be one of these guys that just kind of sizzle out and disappear from the league? Or might you see him in Chicago being a guy that's able to, carry good enough numbers to even be considered an average receiver? At the beginning of the year, this guy put himself in the top ranks, which obviously now we see isn't the case. But where do you see Chase's his career going from here?
If it keeps going the way it is now, he's going to be the guy that fizzles out. He's going to be the what if. Because you look at first year, 62 catches, 873 yards, 9 touchdowns. Second year, 59 catches, 860 yards, only 2 touchdowns. But he still had the yardage. He's still averaging almost 15 yards a catch. There's, my God, he had the talent last year. You're seeing it. And this year, man, nothing. But even in that second year, man, you thought he would have done so much more. But we saw a lot of the boneheaded plays. Doing the celebration in crunch time, dropping key balls, falling down instead of jumping for the ball. I just don't think he's ever going to realize his full potential. He's going to be the big what if. What if. And I it might be too early to say what's going to happen in Chicago because we're seeing like Justin Fields didn't play last week. He was hurt. Trevor Siemian was in. But the way Fields has been playing the past couple weeks, he's relying a lot on his legs now, but you're seeing the passing numbers come around slowly with him. So next year, God, it feels like I'm kicking the can down the road on Claypool, but it's going to be next year. Next year is going to be make or break with him because if Fields progresses the way he has all year and takes that next step next year, you're going to have those receivers should have a lot better numbers next year, and we'll see after next year. But I don't think Chase is going to be the guy. I think he's going to just be. He'll keep getting chances because his size, his measurables, but I just don't think he's going to be a top flight receiver. He's going to be a guy. And I don't see him filling in like the way kind of like Miles Boykin has changed himself into a special teamers. Darius Hayward Bay, former number 1 overall pick, turned himself into a special teamers, turned himself into one of the best gunners I've seen in Pittsburgh in a long time. So, but I don't think Claypool will ever turn himself into that type of player to make himself more valuable to a team. I think he's just going to be that big, tall receiver that they're just going to, fuck it, he's down there. Let's just throw it deep, see what happens. Type of guy. I just don't think he's gonna take that next step. Which sucks because I would love to see him happen, even if it doesn't happen in Pittsburgh.
The thing that I'm thrilled with is that he was playing with the Bears this week and not with the Steelers. We do have a game tonight. That we have other issues, of course. I want to start somewhere where people really haven't been talking, Mike. I want to talk about the slot position a little bit. Now that you do have the receivers scooting around a little bit because of the loss of Claypool a month ago, them slot receivers, I would love to see more from them. And you know what? They could be such easy, quick patterns for our offense too. Instead of going to the, excuse me, the check downs, the running backs, the, plays like that. I don't understand why they're not using Gunner, why they're not using Sims, why they're not using, Boykin, some of these guys to just hit these quick passes, especially on a 3rd and 9 or a 2nd and 7 when we're throwing the ball 5 yards. Why not just put one of a couple of these guys in the slots, have a couple of guys crisscross? This isn't really rocket science. I mean, granted, we're not in the huddle. Of course, we're not realizing the difficult. But you know what? This is what you do. It isn't like we're pulling people from the pretzel making factory to play football. You're asking these guys to run a pattern, which in fact is what they do for a living. So I would love, and I think it could be a big part of this team moving forward if they would just kind of work that slot receiver in. Because you have the little tough guy, the gunner. The thing is, I mean, we got a couple there's a couple of plays by Gunner early in the season that would make you think, Gunner, what is it? But you know what? You put him in a position where he is, you put him in New England in that slot position, this guy is going to be catching 6, 7, 8 balls a game. Easy. Put him in a slot, put somebody in a slot, throw to that guy. I just don't get him like that could go such a long way.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
it's been shown that, like, we do in Canada's offense, man, the slant is non-existent. And like I think I remember 1 or 2 times we ran the slant. One time we completed it, nice little gain. The other time I saw the receivers running wide open, no one covering because no one thought we were going to do a slant. Slants work. Every team has slants. Why? Because they work. Jerry Rice is a Hall of Fame receiver because he ran one of the best slant patterns of all time. No one could catch him out of there. He wasn't the fastest guy, but you run a slant. Next thing you know, you catching the defense off guard, even though they know it's coming. Because they're backpedaling, you're doing that quick little route, you're able to navigate through. My God, imagine Deontay Johnson if he could catch the ball running slants.
Yeah.
Steven Sims in open field with a slant.
Yeah, here's
it's the simplest concept. You run this shit in middle school. I remember playing 7th grade football.
You don't make it to the pros without. You can't make it to the pros without knowing how to do this.
Yeah,
it's like let's sign a quarterback that maybe knows how to throw a football. He knows how, but he doesn't really do it. He just kind of, you know what I mean? I don't understand that.
It's the simplest pattern in football.
and it's
Other than the go route, I mean, it's like
and it might be the most
run a yard
effective.
and
Like
cut
you said,
in.
nobody really is expecting the Steelers to do
Yeah,
anything of that nature. Pop it out, man. Use
yeah,
it in some situations that's going to blow people away. And
yeah.
when
Like,
when you get those safeties up top, hit somebody in a slant, and you have all that green.
like,
I just don't understand why And the
or
thing is,
crossing
we could
routes.
blame it on the coordinator, but nobody else is saying, Mister Canada, this sucks. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I can't believe that somebody isn't pulling him aside saying, dude, your offense is really really generic.
yeah. Or crossing routes. Crossing routes. Like, how many times have we seen teams just you run crossing routes? Your defenders are gonna sometimes bump into each other. You gain separation that way. Run a crossing route. You clear out space in the middle for someone. There's like no overlapping routes. There's nothing that none of the routes seem to like work in tandem.
Yeah, no, right.
It's like it boggles the mind. Like
It's like
none
a
of
bunch of kids on a middle school
yeah,
recess, and everyone's just running
yeah,
frantically. Nothing's really making sense. This guy isn't going this way to
mhm,
draw a linebacker. They're just running, and
yeah,
it's insane.
yeah. And like how this guy keeps getting you know jobs as an offensive coordinator in college. Now with the Steelers, it makes no sense to me. I don't understand it. Like like your offense is so simple. It's basic. Figure something out.
Mike, couple injuries right off the top that we know. We got Jalen Warren will not be playing, and Witherspoon will also be out tonight.
Mhm.
So that's gonna, yeah, it's gonna hurt. But you know what? Again, you're playing a Matt Ryan led Colts team. I mean, they have a good running game. This team isn't fantastic. They're sitting at 4-6-1, give or take. And I really do think that this is a really good chance for us to get out and exercise some demons tonight, do some things. I believe we're going to win this game, Mike. I do believe we're going to win this game, and I think this is going to be one of the first game, probably the first game that you're going to say that wow, the Steelers actually went out. And it's not really fair to say that because they played a really good game against the Saints and even a really good game against
Mhm.
Tampa Bay. But I think they're going to really go out and not control the game, but not be the team, not be a team that's trying to scrape, scratch,
Mhm.
and crawl back into the game. I think that they're going to kind of win this game handedly. Not a blowout, but again, one that at the end of the day, you're going to be able to say, you know what, that was a good game. Let's build off of this and look at this, look at the numbers. I think this one we got it tonight, man.
Well, I hope you're right. I hope you're right. But what scares me, man, is Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, of
He's
course.
my God. He's one of the best backs in the league. If he gets going, it's going to be over. I don't see how we're going to stop him. Like once if he gets going, it's gonna be it.
The thing is, don't let them get going. I mean, there's been running backs that we've shut down. We haven't really
Hmm.
dominated. But if you focus on that, you prepare all week long and say that this guy's going to be touching the ball X amount of times, then you could prepare for that. I think that there's not a lot that this team could show us that we're going to be shell shocked by. I think the Colts are what they are, and like I said, we go in knowing that we have to stop Thomas or Taylor. I'm sorry.
Hmm.
Um, I think we're gonna be all right, man. I think tonight's gonna be the. I personally believe tonight's gonna be a good game for the Steelers. Hopefully that I'm right. Mike, another thing. Also, I was reading about Alex Highsmith. The hype about Highsmith. Highsmith might be
Hmm.
the team MVP. Blah blah blah. Let me give you this because I've been doubt. I'm in doubt, and you know why? It's because of the TJ effect, and we've talked about this all season long. It's no secret. Alex Highsmith before the game yesterday, before the Browns game, because
Hmm.
I only have the numbers up to. So up to that point, Alex Highsmith versus Miles Garrett's numbers: 22 tackles, Miles Garrett had
Hmm.
18, 9 sacks, Miles Garrett had eight and a half, and 3 forced fumbles for Highsmith, and Miles Garrett has 2. So to this point, he is technically outplaying Miles Garrett, and you figure more than half of those games were without TJ Watt. Can you imagine if TJ Watt would have been in all season? What kind of numbers Highsmith would have? Highsmith might be on pace to break the single season record if you had TJ on the other side all season. He's sitting at 9 sacks. You know,
9 sacks. Most of them have come because of T.J. Watt. He's not getting double teamed the way Miles Garrett is. Not getting triple teamed the way Miles Garrett is. It's just it's just funny that Miles Garrett lives rent free in every Steeler fan's head. And
I
once they start comparing numbers, it's the funniest thing in the world. Everyone, oh, I hate Miles Garrett, but let's compare our guy to him. Miles Garrett sucks, but let's compare our guy to
I
him.
think that's
I'm
just
not
people
saying you're
showing you
doing
that
that.
this
It's
guy's
just
not great. I don't even know Miles Garrett's number, to be honest with you. I couldn't even tell you if you paid me up.
but it's just funny. Like Highsmith is not even in the same league
But at the end of
as
the
Miles
day,
Garrett.
take
I'd
all
rather have
details out.
Miles Garrett over Highsmith any day of the week.
Absolutely, but listen to me. If you're 20 years down the road, you open up a book that has stats and everything, and Alex Highsmith has better numbers than Garrett. Nobody's going to know that Miles Garrett was triple team. Nobody was going to know. You're going to look at numbers just like we look at numbers when we look back in the
Mhm.
60s and 50s. I, I agree with you 100%. Don't get me wrong. Miles
Yeah.
Garrett,
That's why numbers lie. You can make numbers mean anything you want. Numbers lie.
so I mean
It's
that's
all
the
about
case.
context.
That's the case here, and you know what I'm saying. I just
Like,
he Highsmith is not. I think he's an average
he
linebacker
is.
at best.
He is. Like it's gonna be
With the help,
if he leaves, it's gonna be like Bud Dupree all over again.
absolutely, absolutely, he's going to go somewhere and have one sack after 10 games.
Yeah. He's just not he's not it. He showed it when Walt was out. His productions dropped. He's a product of TJ Watt. And that's like, like what back in the day, Rob Brown scored 50 goals on the Mario Lemieux wing and goes somewhere else and signs all this money, never scored 50 goals total or
Yeah,
something like that. It's like, yeah, production, look at numbers. Oh, yeah, it's great. But okay, why? It's the why. Why are the numbers like this? Why are the numbers like this?
so
That's why.
let me ask you. You have the Colts winning 21-10.
Yes.
Let me hear your thought process, because here's the thing: in order for that to happen,
Mm-hmm.
it has to be another shit day for the offense, not doing
Yeah.
anything,
Mm-hmm.
maybe getting down one time, scoring a touchdown, and
Mm-hmm.
so I mean that's pretty consistent with everything leading up to this point in the season.
Uh-huh.
And to give up 21 points to a team that averages 15 points a game, this team has to play a little bit better than it usually does
Yeah.
against a pretty good defense we have. I just where's your thought? What kind of game is this going to be? What's the pace of this game tonight going to be for you, Mike? Is it going to be turnovers? Is it going to be punt city? Where do you feel that this game's going to go?
I have a feeling it's going to be punt city. It's
Hmm.
going to be lots of decent amount of 3-and-outs. Some drives that you think are going to be promising and then fizzle out. The defense, they'll play well for a little bit, but then steady. Just keep running the ball. Keep running the ball. Keep running the ball. Keep running the ball. Hey, this secondary has given up 7 100-yard receivers. All right, we'll find out where Arthur Millette is, and we're going to target him. We're going to find out where 35 is lined up. That's our guy. That's our guy. Because last week he was one-on-one coverage. God forbid anyone, let's change up the defensive game plan and give this guy any help. Let's target him first and see if they start, rotating coverage over. Okay, you finally rotate coverage over. All right, we'll pick on one of the other corners that's given up long gains.
I'm just hoping that
I
Matt
just
Ryan,
I'd throw to the running back out of the backfield, and I'd throw to the tight end. What
all the
can
quarterbacks that are
in
in that
30 fucking years
generation,
I've never seen anyone cover in the Steelers defense cover a tight end or a running back.
in this generation of quarterbacks, I hope to think that Matt Ryan is just as bad as Tom Brady and just as bad as Aaron Rodgers has been. Because you know what I mean. He's
Yeah,
in that generation. He was considered one of the good quarterbacks at that time. He did pretty good with it for himself with Atlanta.
he had like
I just hope that we kind of
one
get one of these performances
MVP season.
that these other guys are having. I watched Green Bay last night, and it was actually a really good game. But you could see the differences in Aaron Rodgers. He doesn't have the spark, the fire, the youth,
No.
and and all that stuff that he has. Jordan Love comes in and replaces him. We scored, or Green Bay. I'm sorry, Green Bay scores a touchdown, and
Hmm.
I think it's first two passing plays. So you're just starting to see that generation of quarterbacks die off, and I'm fine with that. I'm just hoping that Matt Ryan isn't waiting till after this game to start to do that and be one of them quarterbacks, because I think that, like I said, I think that we're going to win this game. I really do, man.
Like I hope we do. I just don't see it. I see nothing from the quarterback position that breeds confidence, and that's where everything's won and lost there.
Right.
It's cliche that quarterback gets all the blame and none of the credit, but it's just It's where it starts, man, and it hasn't looked pretty. Missing wide open receivers, throwing into the dirt in front of the receivers, just bad passes, bad reads. Every once in a while, make a nice little play here and there, but it's not enough. It has not been enough, and I just don't see it. You have your number one receiver frustrated because he's analytics are showing like how open he is this year, like one of the most open receivers. And we don't have a quarterback that can get him the ball.
You know what gets
I
me about
I don't want to. Yes, he has drop issues, but
no
he catches a whole hell of a lot more than he drops. So
here's my
it's
issue
like,
with Deontay. Now I'm reading these same numbers that you're reading.
mm-hmm,
He's the most wide open guy. He
mm-hmm.
has the least amount of drops and last so many passes. This isn't the guy that I'm watching. I sit down and watch football games, and more times than none, I'm frustrated because this guy will drop a pass or will I'm it's not matching to me. The quarterback that they're talking about or the receiver they're talking about is not the same guy I'm watching because it seems like I said more often than not, you're yelling at this guy, dude, what the fuck you doing? Hold on to the ball. But then they're starting around saying, well, he has the best, in the past 2 seasons. He hasn't dropped the ball this many times. He's only dropped it this many times. He doesn't have dropping issues. What am I missing?
Well, when you're getting bad passes thrown to you, and you have to extend further out of your catch radius than you should to catch a pass,
Which is
that's on
what
the quarter.
that's your job.
Yeah, but when you're having to try to make a dynamic catch every single catch because your quarterback sucks, that's on your quarterback.
Which isn't
Throw
the
throw a
case with
catch a ball.
Deontay. A lot of times the
Throw a
ball's
catch a
off his
ball.
hands, and you know that.
Not yeah, a lot of them where he has to overextend for him, and you can't
No
just because
quarterback is going to throw
oh
the ball between the numbers every time.
no,
None.
no, but you gotta throw him in a catchable area. You gotta throw him away from the defender. You can't
That's
throw him
what
in their feet. You can't throw him to where you have to try to make a Odell Beckham catch
No,
every
you're
single
right,
time.
and this is one thing that I'm watching. I'm watching all the quarterbacks around the league because these are valid points, and I think to myself,
Yeah.
let's see what other guys are doing, and they're doing the same thing. Jimmy G has a wide open, running back out to left, and he throws the ball 3 yards short, and there's nobody rushing him. Yeah, these are things that happens with quarterbacks, and I don't know why our quarterback is being magnetized. I'm sorry, you're once he starts winning games, once he starts putting up better numbers, that's when it'll start to recede. I understand that
When
entirely.
5 years down the line, because that seems to be Kenny Pickett's career path. Suck,
Eh,
suck, suck, suck. Have a good year. Suck, suck, suck. Have a good year. So okay, 1 out of 5, 1 out of 5 on his 5th-year option. Who do well? We'll sign him to a big
I
contract,
mean
and then
that
he'll
this isn't
suck
a
for
bash
4 years.
Kenny thing here. I'm
No,
just
I'm
trying
just
to.
pointing it out. I'm just pointing it out. I
Well,
keep
everybody
hearing
knows
people.
where you
I keep
stand.
hearing no, yeah, but I keep hearing people say, and on Twitter, on TV, everyone's like, "Oh, just give him time. Give him time." No,
He's a
no.
rookie halfway through the first season. Yeah, you got to.
George Pickens, a
Anybody.
rookie halfway through the season, having a pretty good year. Chris Olave, rookie wide receiver, having a damn good year. There's rookies throughout the league that are coming in, plugging in, playing, and doing well.
Absolutely, and nobody's denying that, Mike. I just
But
think
but
that
this guy, it's like, oh, just wait, just wait. I've been waiting. I've been waiting for how many ever quarters he's played. There's some nice little runs here, nice little pass there, but not a whole lot. Not
well,
a
if the
whole lot.
team wasn't letting up 37 points, if he wasn't letting up 100-yard receivers every game, your rookie quarterback would have a better, more opportunistic system and uh, conditions to
I
do
think
things
so.
differently.
Hit a wide open receiver. Find the open man. Don't lock
He
on
hit
the
a wide
receiver
open
and just
receiver
throw it.
last week for a touchdown.
Yeesh. Yeah, but he missed all the other open receivers. He missed passes that threw into the feet. How many passes to Freiermuth that should have been caught for touchdowns over the last 2 weeks that weren't because they were so poorly thrown? But yeah, it all starts and dies at the quarterback position. So that's why I think we're going to lose tonight.
I think we win because of the quarterback. I think other things are going to happen, but I think Kenny's going to play. He's going to play a pretty good game. I think we do win, Mike. But because I have so much going on and we have a lot, we do have to move on. Let me hop over to hockey. You know what? Let's drop down to college football. Then we'll do hockey. We have picks, Mike. There's just so much in front of me. Let me
Let's do
continue.
this. Let's do
All
this.
right, so we have a couple some notable college football games. Of course, Pitt travels down to Miami for the last game of the season on Saturday night to play the Hurricanes. We usually don't have much luck down there. As a matter of fact, this 42-16 win is the biggest win that we ever had in Miami. So that leaves Pitt with an 8-4 record to finish out the season. And a couple speculations for the Bulls. Mike CBS is saying that Pitt versus Wisconsin in the Pinstripe Bowl in the Bronx, New York. And 24/7 is reporting Pitt versus Cincinnati in the Military Bowl. However, we will not know Sunday. This coming Sunday, 6 days, a week from yesterday, they will have the show,
Yep.
the selection show, see where Pitt's playing, and also Penn State, Mike, who's now sitting at number 8 after their big win. They finish out the season over to Michigan State Spartans, 35-16.
Land grant trophy, baby. We won it.
Pulls the pulls Penn State to the number 8 spot overall, and a couple other top 10
Yes.
notable scores, Mike. Georgia, number 1, beating Georgia Tech 37-14. Ohio State, Michigan. You know, this game here, what can you say? It always lives up to the hype. Michigan this time, they whooped the ass of the people from Ohio State, 45-23.
Yeah. I love it.
Number 4, TCU beats Iowa State 62-14. Number 6, USC 38, Notre Dame 27. Alabama at number 7, they beat Auburn 49-27. And finally, now these Gamecocks, Mike, the South Carolina Gamecocks, they beat Clemson 31-30. It was a crazy game. Probably Clemson should have won, but you know what? Ever since the one guest that we have come on here, P, he asked a question 2 weeks ago about what about the South Carolina Gamecock football team, which we haven't talked about once since we started this show. They've come out in back-to-back weeks, shutting down undefeated Tennessee, who was sitting at number 4, and you know the sky was the limit for them last week, and then they come out this week and stop the ACC leading Clemson, who is going into the championship game next weekend. So this South Carolina team, not ranked, just their record is dismal.
They're 8-4. 8-4.
They 8-4. Yeah, but ever since P came on and mentioned that South Carolina Gamecocks team, they've been doing amazing things. Crazy. I love it.
Yes.
I love it. You love to see the big team go down. But that is our college football for today.
Real quick, number 5, LSU upset. They lost 38-23 to Texas A&M.
Yes, sir.
Number 9, Oregon lost to cross-state rival Oregon State 38-34. And then 13, no, is that it? The upsets? Number 25, Louisville lost to Kentucky.
And the Bandit Canada, Mike, going back to Pitt, he has 20 touchdowns this season. He is the nation's leading scorer. Big accolades for him. Hopefully he gets, does something in the bowl game coming up. He still has another season of eligibility, Mike. I think that, if he comes back, he's going to do amazing next year. But you know what? I think if he goes to the NFL, he's going to do fine. One other note real quick on former Pitt players, Mike. We were talking about Nate Peterman last week. Before the game this weekend, Nate Peterman got promoted to the Bears active roster, Mike. I
saw that. People were actually talking about it on Twitter.
Really?
Like, not even like Pitt people, like sports guys, like, oh, Peterman's coming back. So
yeah.
He somehow has supporters in the NFL. I think it might be tongue in cheek. I'm not sure.
Yes,
but hey, man, my man's he's carved himself a nice little niche in the NFL.
He's one of these backup quarterbacks. You know what I mean? You do decent enough in college, you get signed in the NFL somewhere. You could bounce around for 15 years if you're if you're a smart person and you figure out how to do it, and it's there for them guys. So he's going to be. I think he will be that kind of guy.
And if I'm a Bandit Canada, I come out of the draft this year because I'm looking at his career stats. 95 yards first year, you're a freshman.
Right.
Sophomore, 651 this year, 1,400 yards. Dude, come out of the draft now. Your stock is not going to get any higher. Probably won't be a first rounder because first round running backs are rare, but hell, man, second, third round pick as a running back coming out of the draft. Take it, take the money and run.
Yeah, for sure. I was seeing last night that Slovis may be back. He may be back next year. You know what? The thing that pisses me off about Slovis is, when he's good, and I'm watching him play the other day, and he's laying these nice passes in there. He just doesn't have much athleticism, I think is what it is. He doesn't move around well, but if he could stand back there and look at in the pocket and look around, look at his receivers, and he's an okay quarterback. But you just come to the big game and you don't know which quarterback you're going to get. You're going to get the guy that's going to be able to sling all over the place, or you're going to get the guy that does nothing. Yeah, and those are two pretty big. I don't know. Slovis, I would like to see him not be here, but you know what? Who's going to come and take the place? Because again, we don't have anybody sitting real high on the table as far as quarterback for Pitt. So Maybe just I hope he comes back because of the experience and that he has. And
The reverse Kenny Pickett, he had that great freshman year, then he's gotten
yeah,
worse every year.
I just I and like I said, you start to see
He flashes.
slithers, right?
Hmm.
But the consistency,
Oh,
jeez.
it's not there yet, because I've watched a little bit of play a little bit this year, and it's like the same thing. You're like, oh my god, I mean, that's a nice throw. Then it's like, what are you doing? What the
Yeah.
are you doing? I'm like, I'm not even a Pitt fan, and I'm like upset.
Mike, we got to move on from football to football. A couple things going on here. We have today, this morning, right now, as we speak, Brazil versus Switzerland going on. Today at 2 o'clock, Portugal versus Uruguay. And then tomorrow, a big game, Mike, between Iran and the United States at 2 p.m. tomorrow. Now, Mike, a couple of things that I've noticed here
Hmm.
is big story wise is they're having riots in Belgium from the Netherlands. I guess after the Morocco win at the World Cup, it has something going on with their riding. And also, here's the one that's something connected with us. Um, Let me see. They're pissed because of the
Hmm.
okay, the
Yeah.
Twitter okay, the
Hmm.
USA Twitter feed
Hmm.
posted an altered image of the Iranian flag
Hmm.
as a support of women's rights in Iran. I
Yes.
think you're messing with dangerous shit when you do that. I mean, everything is fine and roses here with what people feel about that stuff. But you go to a country that's hostile towards that kind of thing, I think you really have to watch yourself. And not only are you going to get people pissed, I mean, these people really get pissed to where, that they don't like that. And you said it as much as we do support and we are accepting of people. The fact of the matter is places around the world that aren't, and this is one of them. And you go into the backyard of these people and flaunt this shit and use their flag, an image of their. That's like
Hmm.
somebody coming to our country, taking the stars off and putting whatever. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? You don't
Yeah.
do that, right?
Yeah, yeah, because like that's the flag that the team is wearing. Yes, like the men's team, they didn't. The men's team did their silent protest. Like the Iranian men's national team, they didn't sing their national anthem, standing in solidarity. With the women of their country, which is badass. But like our soccer federation should not have done that. It's
No.
because you're putting your players. They're the ones that are gonna have to go out on the field. They're the ones who are gonna have to hear it from the fans. In sporting events, my God, this was years ago, but you saw a fan rush the tennis court and stab Monica Seles. We've
Yeah.
seen this before. We've seen fans coming out onto the field trying to cause ruckus, trying to do stuff. So, like, I don't know. I think it was stupid. I liked it. It was a nice, showing solidarity. But you have to pick and choose your battles.
Here's
Let's
the
not
thing,
do
Mike.
this it right in the middle. Like, we're over in the close to that part of the world right now, and could
If on social media
it's
somebody would take a Ravens flag
uh-huh.
and do something and make it steelery, that's one thing.
Mm-hmm. And you find fans that would be pissed about that might go try and stab someone.
However, I mean, this part of the world is, I mean, granted, Iran has went backwards a little bit, but this part of the world, these are things that they take serious,
Mm-hmm.
and we have to, we have to as Americans stop going places. Brittany Griner's a good example. And being American, you have to go to these places and be respectable and be
Mm-hmm.
a tourist, be a visitor like you are. You can't go to Russia and smoke weed. You can't go to Iran and just support some of the things that they're totally against, whether you think it's wrong or not, because people could come here and think things that we're doing is not right. But
Mm-hmm.
what are you going to do? Get the fuck out of our country? Somebody might beat you up. So the thing is, we have to stop doing that as Americans. We have to. I mean, we're very prideful. We're very full of ourselves. But at the end of the day, if you don't want trouble,
Yeah.
you gotta stop this stuff, right?
Yeah, and you have like, look, my God, like a Mexican boxer or MMA fighter says he hopes he never runs into Messi because he's going to whoop Messi's ass. Because after I think Argentina Mexico played and Argentina won, like there's Messi wiping his cleats off with the Mexican flag in the locker room, and
Yeah.
that photo got leaked. So
Yeah. I
people
can't
take
imagine why everyone
people
hates
take
us.
country pride like so seriously. For me, I think it's crazy. Like this just happened to be the place I was born. I but people take national pride so fucking seriously. So you don't want to. I don't know. I think it was just stupid on our part. Though. So hey, great. Give the team we're playing against extra motivation.
All right, from one foreign sport to another, Mike.
But
Let's
yeah,
talk.
but that game we do have to win. We do have to win. The U.S. has to win that
They
game. If
have
they
to
win, they
win.
move on. If they draw or lose, they are done.
I'm going to say something that's not in favor of our country. I think they're going to lose.
I
I
just had
think
the
they're going to
feeling. Yeah, last time
because
I
you,
remember we lost to them before, and when World Cup was in France.
the thing is, we tied one, we tied another game. So if we win
Mhm.
this, I don't know.
Like,
I'm having a really hard time with this soccer, Mike. I really am. I'm trying as hard as I can, but I'm really having a hard time with soccer. But please, let's move on from one foreign sport to the other, Mike. We have some hockey that happened when we left you on Friday. We had a Flyers game that was coming on just that afternoon at 5:30, and the Penguins they went and they beat Philadelphia 4-1. However, they had to
four
turn
goals
around
to
and
one.
what did I say?
You said 4 games to 1.
4-1. There you go. And then they had to turn around and come back the very next night
Hmm.
and play the Toronto Maple Leafs, where Toronto beat them 4-1. Um, Penguins, they're at where they're at. Beginning of the season, they came out hot. Then they went to a little bit of
Hmm.
a slump, and then they got hot again. I think that's what you're going to see with the Steel or those Penguins this year. It's either going to be high, it's going to be low. They're having a hard time finding that happy medium to where you could just do your thing, play hockey, win some games. Um, I mean, it is what it is. It's the Penguins. And here's a couple other things, Mike, before we move on, because we do have to get to our
Hmm.
picks. Crosby becomes the NHL's all-time leading scorer against the Flyers. He
I love it.
I love it. I love that. Also, Mike, Tristan Jarry stopped 94 of 96 shots in his last 3 games played.
It's fucking awesome. That's a lot of. You said what? Last 3?
Yes.
That's not bad. Not a
Yeah,
bad
about
amount of
30,
shots.
32,
Yeah, it's not
31
bad.
shots a
Not bad.
game.
I thought it
Um,
was over 2. I was like, holy shit.
The Penguins Winter Classic jerseys. I don't know if you see them, Mike.
I
They
saw
are in
them.
homage to the 1925 NHL Pirates team. I like it
Yes.
because you always talk about these throwbacks. This one really has the look of a
Hmm.
throwback. The
Yes,
P,
it
it really
does.
looks like how they look
I
back in.
like it. I actually like it. It does feel like an old timey jersey. I like it. I dig it.
Yes. And one quick note, Mike, the Pittsburgh Pirates signed first baseman Carlos Santana to a year deal. You and I talked about that off the air a little bit. I think that this is going to change the whole
Huh?
organization, and the Pirates are going to, they're going to win this World Series because
Oh,
Carlos Santana is going to
if
sing his way into our hearts here in
if
Pittsburgh.
if this was a signing in 2012, that would have been fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Not in 2022.
All right. So here we go, Mike. We have to knock these out. Are you ready to figure out our picks and scores?
Yes, I
All
am.
right. So for the first game of the weekend, that I have on my list is the Dolphins, Mike. The Dolphins and the Texans. You and I both took the Dolphins in this
Yes.
game, rightfully so, because the Dolphins did win 30-15. Was pretty dominant from the beginning. I believe
Oh,
it was
yes,
thirty
it
to
was.
nothing at one point.
Yeah, it was
How,
30-0.
however, the
Yeah.
score of the final score of that game was 30-15.
And Tua with a monster game.
Yes. It was a really good game, Mike. I thought that Tennessee was going to win this. I took Tennessee. Mike took the Bengals. The Bengals ended up winning 20-16, Mike, over the Titans in a really good game.
Yeah, I really thought it was going to go either way there. I forgot who I made the pick to win.
You did pick the Bengals.
Yeah, so
So you
yeah, let's
got the
go
win, Mike.
Bengals, baby.
Let me hop over to the games that we didn't do real quick. I'll come back just because I don't want to confuse everything.
Hmm.
The Falcons and the team from Washington. Mike, you and I both took the team from Washington, which they did win 19-13 over the Falcons.
Taylor Henneke.
My favorite game of the whole weekend was the Ravens at the Jaguars. Mike and I both took the Ravens, and they lost. Never do I enjoy losing a game so much than whenever it's the Ravens.
Right?
Seattle Seahawks versus the Raiders. That ended up being a good game. Mike and I both took the Seahawks. The Raiders win though, 40-34.
I should have took the Raiders, but I can't bet against Gino.
49ers and Saints. We both took the 49ers. They beat the Saints 13-0. The Chiefs and Rams. We both took the Chiefs. They did beat the Rams 26-10. And then the game last night, the Pack at the Eagles, Mike, we both took the Eagles, and the Eagles did win 40-33. That ended up being a really good game as
It
well.
really did too. Yeah, I didn't think it was going to be that close.
All right, so Mike, right now as we speak,
Mm-hmm.
you have a 1 win, no
Mm-hmm.
losses. I have no wins, no losses. No win, 1 loss. Sorry, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games left. So
All
you
right.
are up 1 game to none. The second game, Mike, was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 6 altogether. We have 5 left. I'm sorry. So the next game was that we were head to head was the Broncos and Panthers. Mike took the Broncos. I took the Panthers. The Panthers did win 23-10.
Fuck you,
Boy,
Russell
he looked bad. And
Wilson.
they were mad. They were mad as
That when that dude come running over yelling at him,
yes.
I Twitter was all over. They kept like, stop with that Broncos Nation, let's ride bullshit and score a touchdown.
Yes, and he would. Yeah.
I hope, deep down inside, I want that to be what was said.
So we are 1 game, 1-1, Mike. 1 win, 1 loss. The third game that we have was between the Bears and the Jets, and for some odd reason, Mike took the Bears. I stuck with my Jets.
Fuck you, Mike White.
And the final score on that was 31-10, the Jets. So I'm up 2 games to 1. 2 games to 1 with 3 games left to call. Let's see. The next one, Mike took the Buccaneers over the Browns.
Fuck you, Tom Brady.
And the Browns win that game 23-17.
Fucking overtime. Fuck you, Jacoby Brissett.
Hey, he had a big one, huh?
He did, man. And Deshaun Watson comes back next week.
I
That's
can't
gonna be
wait.
interesting.
I can't wait.
It's gonna be glorious.
So we 3 games to 1. I have 3. He has 1. 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay, yeah, 3 games to 1. So Mike has to win the last 2 in order to tie, which we do have a tiebreaker system set up. You know what? This game right here, Mike. This game is when I realized that I had won the picks this week. It was I was watching it and I thought, who the hell do I have in this Chargers Cardinals game? And I was like, I know I didn't pick the Cardinals because they pissed me off. I have a whole other issue with them, but I chose the Chargers. And I'm watching this game, and the Cardinals were winning 24-17, and the Chargers get down there and they score, and it's 24-23. I was like, okay, it's going to go to overtime, and this game is going to be close. It'll give us something to talk about. And what's the Chargers do? They go for 2, and they make it. And it was very late in the game, and that ultimately being what was the dagger through the hearts of the Cardinals, which gives me the wins for the week. But again, we're going to continue on.
I thought I picked the Did I not pick the Chargers?
You picked the Cardinals.
No. Oh, that's right. Yeah, because there was no double XP
Yep.
weekend. That's right. Fuck. Yeah, and because the Chargers have been screwing me over all fucking year. Every time I pick them, they lose.
25-24. And then finally, Mike, the one last game that we have against each other wasn't played yet. That's what I was kind of leaning toward. I was hoping that the Chargers-Cardinals game would have went in the other direction. That way it could have came down to the game tonight between the Steelers and Colts, and we could have possibly used the tiebreaker, but it didn't play out that way. However, Mike, that is 4 straight weeks now. I don't know what's going on in Mikeville, but I might as well just take this thing and graft it to my head because I can't get rid of this thing. I've been trying to get rid of this thing.
I won the first 8 weeks. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Mike's counting quarters over here. How
how
many quarters, Mike? How many quarters did you have it? But nonetheless, it was a lot of fun. I like these ones where we have more games. Last week was 2 games.
Yes.
This week we had 6. But it comes down to the way we pick them. And I got to say, Mike, just hang in there, sir. You got we have a lot more football left, and I'm hoping maybe more.
5 more.
Maybe one of these weeks that you might win. But Mike, why don't you go tell everybody about the website?
Dumyinzers.com. Head on over there. We have links to everything that you want to see. Dum Yinzers, YouTube, Spotify, Twitter, Facebook, Insta, everything. Dum Yinzers. Dumyinzers.com.
There you have it, everybody. Check out our website. And we are live every day, Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Please keep continuing to check us out. We appreciate each and every one of you. The show we do this day gets uploaded at 8 o'clock in the evening on the same day, and it goes into podcast form on Spotify. So later on this evening, if you just want to listen to the show, go over to Spotify. You have behind every episode we ever did on there. Check it out. Mike, you ready? We have literally 4 seconds in the show. It's perfect. You ready to do trivia?
Yes.
All right. So what today is going to be, Mike? Today is not going to be about an opponent. Today is a Monday Night Football trivia question. Has nothing to do with the Steelers. Nothing to do with anything from tonight's game. But this game is, Mike. This game is a Monday Night Football trivia. Do you confident with this?
Yes, I am.
All right. So here we go. You got your pencil?
Yep.
All right. The very first Monday night game played on ABC was played between the Jets and the blank. So we're looking for, and I'm going to give you a hint or two. All right, so this is the very first Monday Night Football game was played between the Jets and the blank. Now, the blank is an AFC team who, like the Jets, have always been pretty much down and out. So that's my hint to you. They're an AFC team who's always been like the Jets, always down and out. They're not. This is the very first Monday Night Football game on ABC between the Jets and this team. They're an AFC team. It's not your Patriots. It's not your Steelers. It is a team that's always been down and out. All right. With that being said, Mike, are you ready?
I am ready.
Let's do this thing.
So we know it's not the Jaguars.
No, it's not the Jaguars.
It's not the Houston Texans.
Not the Texans.
It's not the Chiefs. Oh, he didn't.
Well, I can't continue to do that because if you go through all 16
I know.
teams,
You go through
yeah, I thought, how long can I do this?
I have two teams in mind: the Bengals and the Brownies, because they're both bad.
All right, pencils down, everyone. All right, so we're looking for the two teams that played in the very first Monday Night Football game on ABC, the Jets being one of them, and we're looking for the second team. And the hint I gave to Mike was it's an AFC team who, like the Jets, have always been kind of down and out. Mike has a couple ideas. He mentioned some teams. What's your final answer, man?
The Browns.
Cleveland Browns, and that's your final answer. Let's go ahead and lock you in.
Lock it in.
All right. All right, so here we go, Mike. We are looking for the two teams that played in the first ever Monday Night Football game on ABC between the Jets and the blank. I gave Mike the hint of it's an AFC team that played against the Jets, and it's always been a team like the Jets. It's kind of been down and out. And Mike says the Cleveland Browns. He's locked in on that. And Mike, the final answer. The answer is the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns and the New York Jets were the first team at New York to play in the Monday Night Football on ABC. Mike, good start to the week. Tomorrow gets switched over to the Atlanta Falcons because we have the Falcons. The Falcons. Yes, we have the Falcons. So Colts tonight, Falcons, Ravens, Panthers, Raiders, Ravens, Browns. I think it's good. I think there's winnable games. Mike differs. We'll come in tomorrow. We'll talk a little bit about this Colts game and the huge yards that Kenny puts up in the amazing game that Mike will come in here and praise. Mike will be in here praising Kenny, and we'll do all that tomorrow. No. Mike, do you have anything before we leave, man?
No, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening, as always.
Absolutely. Please continue to do so.
Steelers Nation, let's steal.
Boy, that's an awkward way to finish up a show, isn't it? But hey,
let's steal this victory.
There you go. Steal the victory. Monday Night Football, everybody. Tonight, check it out. Monday, the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Colts. Big game. For Ryan, Mike, the two Dum Yinzers.